I just had to slam on my brakes because this. We're having Captain Crunch this morning because I was feeling a little indulgent at the grocery store. Sometimes you just feel like having junk food. I've been doing some math for gasoline purposes, and it looks like we can go where I want to go. This is Death Valley National Park, and we are right here at a place called Crankshaft Junction. And I want to drive south and then make this detour south again to the Racetrack. There's no gas stations between here and there, and it's quite a ways from the Racetrack to another gas station, but it looks like I have plenty of gas. Plus I have the spare gas in my spare gas can. You go on your own seat, buddy. You scooch over on your own seat. Good boy. All right, let's go see some stuff. And if you're wondering who the heck I am, I'm Katie. That's Tuck. This is my Jeep, and we're on a pretty massive road trip, and I'm bringing you guys along with me. You ready to go? Yeah. I suspect Tuck isn't entirely pleased because we're on dirt roads for a long time right now. This road is heavily washboarded, and there are washes that cut across it very frequently, which makes it hard to get speed that's appropriate for the washboards. But I found if I stay way over to the side, on either side, I can kind of avoid the worst of the washboards. I mean, you're still on the road, and it's a pretty wide road, but I can mostly avoid the really bad portions of washboard. I say portions of washboard. It's completely washboarded except for where dry washes cross it. This is one of the hundreds of dry washes that we are going to go across. And I don't think hundreds is any kind of exaggeration. They're very frequent. Just taking a moment as I'm driving down this bumpy road to take in the scenery. Except for the fact that it's a lot drier here, and of course it's different plant life and you don't have a lot of rivers. The geology here looks a lot like the Arctic. I mean, these mountains, you could just transport them onto the Dempster or the Dalton Highway and they would be right at home. It's really kind of an interesting parallel to me. This little canyon between the mountains is showing you what an alluvial fan looks like from the distance. And it's where water transported a ton of rock down the mountain, but it was kind of slow moving, and so it just deposits in this wide fan as it comes out of a narrow canyon in the mountain. It's just different ways that canyons are carved. That one was carved really slowly and by a river, not a glacier. I guess river's probably not the right word. It's probably more like a stream that's going down a narrow canyon, and then the debris that the stream is carrying spreads out like a fan at the mouth of the canyon. I just had to slam on my brakes because this, flowers blooming in the desert. Oh, that is so awesome. I've seen a few little things blooming here and there, but not like this. And I want to be careful not to step on anything living. Oh my goodness. I don't know what this is. What a beautiful, delicate flower. And there's more blooming. There's a big patch here of whatever these are. And whatever these are, they smell really good. They almost have like a musky smell to them, like the musk in a perfume. Like this old perfume I had when we were kids called Skin. That was amazing. It kind of smells like that. And there are a few blooms on this creosote. It smells very clean. Whatever clean smells like, that's what it smells like. The flowers definitely have a different scent than the leaves. The leaves had a bit of a bitter note to them, but the creosote flowers smell very nice. And I imagine that if a whole bunch of creosote were blooming at once, that it would smell quite lovely out here. It mostly smells like nothing in the desert. So when things are blooming, it really fills the air with scent. Even just these few flowers. We've come to an actual sign and a stop sign. It looks like we're gonna have 2.5 miles of pavement. I'll take it. And then we're gonna have like 30 miles of not pavement. But it's nice to drive on pavement for a minute. We are passing by the this crater, and the black sand dunes are just spectacular. It would make a really awesome hike, but can't take the dog. And it's a little warm to leave him in the car. That's the sign we're looking for. Racetrack, 27 miles. This is just such a spectacular volcanic wasteland. I suspect we're going to see a lot more washboarding because it's a more traveled road, but maybe they maintain it more and grade it more often than the other roads. Maybe. Well, it's pretty rocky and rattly, but it's not washboardy. So it's going to be slow going, but not torture. And it looks like we're going to have plenty of time to admire the landscape. This is a pretty large Joshua tree forest, but they don't look super healthy compared to other ones I've driven through. They look kind of dry and like some are not surviving. We've been driving a while, and that's the first vehicle I've seen. Unfortunately, there was a wide spot in the road. A little bit further down the road, these Joshua trees are looking a little bit healthier. So maybe just that spot back there was not as ideal for growing Joshua trees. We are taking a moment to stretch our legs, and this seems like a pretty good spot to take a moment. And this valley is just gorgeous, and you can see the snow-capped mountains in the distance. This is Kettle Junction, and for whatever reason, people have chosen to hang tea kettles on this sign. It's been going on a long time. Although these tea kettles look kind of newish. Oh, look at this one. Does it say anything on it? Just a date. I'm digging into some pretty vague memories here, but I think Kettle Junction used to have a whole lot more tea kettles, like piles of them. So I'm wondering if the Park Service comes around and periodically removes tea kettles, because all of these have a date of 2025 on them. This is just stunning. Good boy. Oh, I can't unhook you so well if you go all the way back there. Okay. We've got about 6 miles to go to get to the racetrack, and then about 4 more miles to get to a campground beyond the racetrack. And I thought about having lunch back there at Kettle Junction, but we're most of the way there, so I think I'll wait till we get to our camp spot and have some lunch, because it's past lunchtime now. It is still going to take us a little while to get to where we're going, since my top speed on some short stretches was 20 miles per hour so far. I'm hoping that when we get a little bit closer to the racetrack that the road will get sandy, and then I can pick up some speed again, but I'm not hopeful. The racetrack Playa is coming into view, and a playa is just an ancient lake bed or seabed, and it's just a totally flat area of sand and sediments. And this one's particularly lovely. And I was looking at the map, and there's a little dot on the map that says the grandstand, and I was like, I don't know what that is, but as we get closer to the playa, I think it's become obvious what the grandstand is, and that there's this cool, what looks like volcanic rock formation jutting up out of the playa, and the road is no better. We are on rock stuff again, but I actually went through a sandy spot that I was like, oh good, sand is coming up, and it was so washboarded that it was not good. The rocks are better. We're at the spot where the rocks slide across the playa. For a long time, nobody knew how the rocks were moving across the playa. And it turns out that there's water here in the wintertime, just a little bit, and it freezes. And when it melts during the day, the rocks are stuck in that ice, and the winds push the rocks with the ice. It's really pushing the ice across the playa. And let me see if we're going to be able to see any, because it's kind of wet out here today. I do not want to get in the mud. Okay, looks like if we come down here, I won't be stepping in the mud. There's a sliding rock. You can see the path that it is taken across the playa. I don't know if that shows up in camera, but that path goes quite a ways. The rock in question is not very big, though. I mean, I can put my whole hand over it. There's another sliding rock and its path. So that rock right there went this way, made like a 90-degree turn up here, and it made like another turn over here and came from way over there. We're gonna look at a couple of these bigger rocks and then head back to the car and get to camp. It is cool enough that Tuck is fine in the car with the windows halfway down, but I don't like to leave him that long. This one's made a pretty wide track. Even this big rock has moved. The track from that one comes down here and then makes a greater than 90-degree turn and back that way. But this big honking track here belongs to that rock. And that's a big rock. That's the kind of rock I was thinking we'd see a bunch of out here. So there's another track that goes way out that way. This one, though, is big and made a big impression. It doesn't go that far, but I'm wondering if this came from this direction, went over there, and then came back and made a turn down here. And this one has a cool curved shape. So I can't see where that one ends from here, but it came down here and made a turn, almost 90 degrees, and then made a beautiful curve before it's momentarily stopped right here. And that is just a beautiful rock. The more you look, the more tracks you can see all over the place. And look at this little guy. He came down, made a almost 45-degree turn from way over there. This is a wonderful place. And for many, many years, it was a mystery how the rocks were sliding around the playa. Like, nobody knew how it happened. There were theories, but it wasn't until fairly recently, like 2014, I think, that some scientists came out here and put equipment on some of the rocks and figured out what was happening. Let's just take a moment and appreciate how beautiful this valley is. And made more beautiful because of its mysterious moving rocks. Did you survive? Yeah. All right, let's for real get to camp now. And these washboards are really high amplitude. Like, they're tall. And they aren't spaced in a way that I can figure out the correct speed for them. There, you're already stuck on a rock. Hang on. There you go. We're gonna get your food and water out. And so this is the campground. It's pretty basic. They do have a pit toilet, but there's no water or any facilities out here, which is fine for me. And there's no people. I imagine this campsite doesn't probably get used all that much. Although after driving for several hours on that road, I wouldn't want to have to just turn around and drive right back. So I'm glad there's this campsite. And look at that really cool rock outcropping in front of those mountains. And it looks like there might be some old mining stuff kind of up on the hill over there. But let's make some lunch. Hey, buddy. You helping? Do I have any olives? And some tomatoes. Ooh, pine nuts. I forgot I got these. It's kind of hot out here. We're gonna make a salad and heat up a croissant because that sounds delightful. How did they get smushed in their plastic? They're smushed. Hi. Tuck would like to participate. Not forget what I'm doing over here. This can go a little longer. I'm really happy that I picked up pine nuts somewhere along the way. Et voila, lunch is served. Somebody would like to share that lunch. Sit your butt. Up, up. Good boy. He really wants more cheese. Salad is definitely the thing for a warm day like today. I don't know where I left off when my battery died. I was probably talking about the weather. It's hot. I mean, it's not actually hot. It's probably 65 degrees, but it feels hot. But this area is full of all kinds of crazy, cool rocks. Like good rocks. Look at this rock and all the turquoise through it. Is that copper? Or is it turquoise? Or something else. I don't know. In just this one rock, there's so many different colors. But there's other rocks around here with more of the coppery turquoise looking stuff. I need to figure out how to tell the difference between copper and turquoise and what other things look that color. I don't know if that shows on camera, but the other thing I'm seeing is rocks that sparkle. Like there's a ton of sparkle in that rock. Hopefully it shows up. I'm assuming that's mica. And then look at this guy with what I assume it's some type of quartz with more of the blue. And look at this guy. He's all sparkly too, with I assume some quartz in there. And probably a lot of iron. It's really red and a little rusty. In this area, you could have all the processes that make rocks. Sedimentary processes, metamorphic processes, and volcanic processes. They're all here. All of those things happen in Death Valley. All right, guys, I think that's it for today. And I want to thank all of you for coming along with me. It's amazing that you're coming along with me. And if you've made it this far in the video and you're not a subscriber yet, maybe you should subscribe. Like, comment as well. It all helps and it costs nothing. And tomorrow we got to drive out of here and then figure out what to do. And I don't know what that is yet. But you're welcome along for the ride.